Olmec on the NickyLovenAnkh show. Dr. Clyde Winters has written extensively about the Olmec or She people. Check out his book Atlantis in Mexico, which explains the African origin of the Olmec people. Dr. Winters explained on the NickyLovenAnkh show that the Olmecs were one of the greatest civilizations in the Americas, and that the Olmecs were African people. They were not an indigenous culture. In the second part of the Clyde Winters presentation at the Nicky Love and Anchor show, I want to discuss the genetic material. Here you see an article. This article makes it clear that many of the Nawa and the Mishe carry an African gene. This Y chromosome that they carry is called XYAP. And as you can see in this table 4, 2.9% of the Nawa and 14.3% of the Mishe carry this gene. We also find the sense that the Mishe and Maya carry haplogroup A. Haplogroup A, which is often referred to as an American gene, is also carried by African people. We notice in a sense that these African people who carry this are not only found on the West Coast, they're also found on the East Coast. Here's an article on the matronymical DNA genetic diversity among 4 ethnic groups in Sierra Leone, and we can see in this article by Bruce A. Jackson that the Mandi carry haplogroup A. And we also find the making of the African mtDNA landscape that not only is the haplogroup A found in West Africa, it's also found in East Africa. Again, here's table 2 from the making of the African mtDNA landscape. And if you notice, right at the top, we find that there was an African from southeastern Africa who carried the A haplogroup. The Maya and Olmec do not look alike. As you can look in these pictures, you can see that there's no resemblance between the classical Maya and the Olmec. The Olmecs were an African people, and they demonstrated very vividly in this photograph. It's very interesting that many of the Africans brought the craft to the Americas. They especially brought the idea of wearing the leopard skin. The leopard skin appears in scenes from the Old Kingdom onward and was connected with a certain class of priests, usually called sim priests. It could be worn over the normal dress and was held in position by a strap or cord, which was shortened by a kind of slip knot on the shoulder. The sim priest in ancient Egypt was usually depicted wearing the leopard skin. The sim priest's functions are usually associated with the opening of the mouth rituals in the mortuary cult. It's interesting that this use or presence of the leopard skin as a typical feature of the priest is also found today among the newer. Here we see a newer priest. He's wearing the leopard skin, and this priest also carries, in a sense, the ambach log. And the ambach log was used as a stool, a headdress, a container for tobacco, and other objects. It's very interesting about the use of tobacco by the newer. The ancient Maya also used tobacco in their religious beliefs. Here we see a Mayan priest wearing and a leopard skin, and below him we see one of the black gods from the Maya text. We see this black god has a leopard skin over his shoulders, and he's carrying a staff. And in the other picture, we see a contemporary priest. One of the most interesting artifacts that relate to this priesthood and the whole idea that the Maya adopted from the craft the use of the leopard skin as a way to demonstrate their religious beliefs is the shaman vase. On the shaman vase, we see an African wearing his leopard skin meeting a Mayan. This Mayan person, I guess because of the fact that they recognize that black people began civilization, this Mayan has painted himself black, but you can tell by his feet and his chin that he's really a Mayan Indian. But the African personages wearing the leopard skin has no Mayan features, and he has the elongated head, yes, but his He is clearly an African, and there is nothing on him that would show that it is paint. It's very important, in a sense, to recognize that the elites among the Maya wore, in a sense, the leopard skin. We don't really have any artistical representations of some of these artifacts from the Olmecs, but again, we don't. We'll have to get into those tombs and find more evidence. Here we have another demonstration of the influence of the uh, the African priesthood on the Maya. Here we have elites who are judging some prisoners to determine what will be their fate. And as you can see, they're all wearing leopard skins. And what's very important is that we come back to the Maya Indians and this newer shaman. If you notice, this Mayan is smoking through a long pipe, tobacco. And if you notice, in a sense, this newer person, he also has, in a sense, a log. This log contained tobacco, and he also used tobaccos in his rituals. It's very important to recognize that African scripts, the Maliki Bambara origin of the Mandi term for writing, the fact, in a sense, that many of the iconographic representations of the Olmecs and Mayans all show this African influence. We also know, in a sense, that the Malinki Bambara people influence the languages of the Mayan people, and we also have those African skeletons. All these elements demonstrate that the Olmec were an African people. The Olmec, they did not call themselves Olmec, as everyone probably knows. They called themselves She. And this name She meant race and also people. In summary, although Africans are invisible today in pre-Columbian times, blacks contributed much to the rise of Mexican civilization. Through their contribution to Mexico, some Amerindians recognize them as gods. Olmec traditions of coming to America by sea correlates with Mexican traditions of the Aztecs and Maya. The African origin of the Olmecs is supported by the presence of African skeletons, African DNA. All of these things demonstrate that the Olmecs were an African people. The Olmecs were from Africa. Thank you.